Good afternoon. I'm Brady Burrell for KQKI News, where we are standing by with St. Mary Parish Coroner Dr. Eric Malalsaw, who is going to give us an update on where we stand on the situation with the coronavirus here in St. Mary Parish. Dr. Malalsaw, first of all, thank you for spending a little time with us on a Sunday afternoon. Of course, the number of cases overnight has grown, about 1,300 overnight in the state, 13 new deaths, 61 patients in hospitals. If you can give us an idea where we stand in the parish.
Well, currently, the state has us listed as 39 deaths for the parish. We're actually up to 42 with, I believe, 3 cases still pending results. Overall, we have 760-something overall confirmed cases. There's still a lot of pending results. If you look at our surrounding parishes, our bordering parishes, Iberia Parish has 1,228 cases, Terrebonne Parish has 1,558 cases, and St. Martin Parish has almost 1,000. So we're kind of in line with them, although we seem to be doing a hair better.
Okay, so far the response to St. Mary with the surge of cases, what could be causing it, what you guys are doing to try to mitigate it as much as possible?
Well, most of the surge is probably pure laziness. Unfortunately, the biggest uptick is in the 18 to 29-year-old age group. Until we take responsibility for practicing our social distancing protocol, hand washing, and things like that, we will see an increase in the cases. I think ultimately, if we don't practice what we supposedly preach, then we will always have cases. Fortunately for the younger age population, they're less at risk for dying than would someone significantly older.
What is the status right now in beds of hospitals, ventilators in St. Mary Parish? Do we have the capacity to meet this surge?
Well, at Ocean St. Mary right now, they have 5 ICU patients. I believe only one is COVID positive and on a ventilator. The floor is pretty packed to capacity for the staffing that they have available now. Franklin Foundation, I don't believe is full, but they're about halfway.
Of course, yesterday, Governor Edwards issued a mandate that everyone, if you're in the public places and businesses, that you are to wear a mask. That goes into effect at 12:01 a.m. tomorrow morning. And he has closed bar rooms for on-site consumption of alcohol. Your response to his decision?
Well, if you look at the numbers, like I said earlier, the largest growth in new cases is in those people between 18 and 29 years of age. And of course, those are the most likely people to go to things like bars and et cetera. While it's unfortunate that they have to almost be singled out, it's just the rapidity of growth in that age group is phenomenal. And again, it's not the fact that they potentially will have complications or die of the disease. It's the fact that they can then transmit it to someone else who may.
Okay, right now in St. Mary Parish, where do we stand? Of course, there's a backlog everywhere on testing. Right now you can go to urgent care, doctor's offices, hospitals for testing. Where do we stand? Do we have enough testing kits?
I think for the most part, the hospitals and the urgent cares do tend to have enough kits. I'm unaware right now today if we plan on doing some more site testing here in St. Mary Parish, but there's a lot of site tests set up in Region 3, which is our current region for the Department of Health. Most physicians' offices are getting a pretty decent supply. Again, the state has changed their protocol as far as just testing anyone at random. Really, we want a direct contact or an exposure because the testing time is certainly taking a lot longer to come back.
Yes, and we should emphasize that. People do just for the fact they're curious, they want to know if they're tested or they're positive. Again, if you can emphasize who should get tested.
Well, anybody with a direct contact exposure, of course, anybody with symptoms, and I think that's the biggest issue we've had. When people have symptoms, they're not following any protocol with isolation and quarantine. Regardless of whether they think this is allergies or this is a cold or this might be the flu, you still need to protect not only yourself, you need to protect everyone out in the community. If you're sick, stay home.
And how would you define a direct exposure?
Well, direct exposure, according to the CDC, is someone within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes.
Okay, and of course, the hot spot as far as nursing homes, senior centers in the parish was Legacy Healthcare in Franklin. That seems to have improved, but I believe we've got some new information.
We do. We have had a few confirmed cases over at Patterson Healthcare. Spoke with the staff over at Patterson yesterday. They have quarantined those residents, which are a total of 8, into a certain wing of the thing and sealed it off. And only those staff that are able to work on that wing have to enter through a completely separate door. They do decontamination, their full PPE garment, and I even spoke with one of the residents who's not COVID infected, and he said he was actually pretty impressed at the efforts that were being put forth.
And again, we want to stress that is at Patterson Healthcare, 8 cases currently of COVID. Can you give us an update of where we stand at Legacy Healthcare in Franklin?
I think Legacy in Franklin has kind of fizzled out. I think they've had all the cases that they're going to have. I believe at least 2/3 of the patients have at the facility have had the disease. Most have recovered. We did have, I believe, 16 deaths from the facility. But as far as new cases there, I haven't seen any new ones.
Just behind you, you've got a new tool for the St. Mary Parish Coroner's Office. Tell us about the new van.
Well, the van has been a welcome addition to the coroner's office. For years, we struggled with transports and chain of custody and things like that. Now we actually have a physical unit to do that. By having it, we expect to save somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 a year to the parish.
And what will it be used for? Investigations, pickups?
It will be used for storage of our tools necessary for investigation so that we can conduct a proper investigation. Also for transports to autopsies, etc., and whatever the parish thinks we need to use it for.
Okay, and of course, going back to the coronavirus situation, if you can, one last word of caution to the public to try to mitigate the situation and minimize the spread of cases.
Well, I think if everybody, I'm in agreement with Governor Edwards' mask recommendations. Of course, most businesses will follow that. I hope everybody follows it. Protect yourself, whether you believe it or not. Whether a mask helps, do your patriotic part. This is not a conspiracy to make you lose rights. This is about protecting you and your loved ones.
Alrighty, thank you very much, St. Mary Parish Coroner Dr. Eric Melanson.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. And that's going to do it for me. I'm Brady Burrell for KQKI News, South Central